Hey, what's going on guys? Arekkz here, and today we're talking about Bleeding Edge. If you've caught any of the other videos I've done for this game, then you'll know it's one that I'm super excited for, and the playable beta drops soon, February 14th, meaning you'll all have a chance to dive in and experience the hectic, vibrant and outlandish battles you've seen in the trailers. However, what's more exciting is that for this series, I've actually teamed up with the awesome people over at Ninja Theory, thanks to them for very kindly sponsoring this and giving me access to the game, and over the next week and a half, we're going to be dropping daily Bleeding Edge videos going over everything you need to know so that when the beta drops, you'll be ready to dive right in and make the most of your time. Gameplay tips, character guides, a look at mods and customization, we've got it all, so sit back and enjoy. Today we're kicking things off with your overall gameplay guide, Bleeding Edge 101. If this is your first time hearing about this game, then Bleeding Edge is a 4v4 team brawler. It fuses combo mechanics with dynamic third-person action, and it's all wrapped up in this bright, vibrant package with a unique cast of augmented anti-heroes, each of whom has their own distinct feel and playstyle. Essentially, urban cyberpunk with lots more graffiti. Oh, and did I mention the game has hoverboards? Because it totally does. The game features a mix of melee and ranged combat across the cast of playable characters, and as you work together and play as a team, you can combine your array of powerful abilities to pull off some devastating synergized attacks to truly overwhelm your opponents, so it should go without saying that communication is key. Of course, it's one thing to talk about crazy abilities, it's another one to show them. Over the course of this week, as we explore the individual characters, you'll see just what they have to offer, but to give you a taste, you'll be doing things like freezing your foes where they stand, mind controlling them and having them jump to their doom, shoulder charging them into a wall, electrifying them with a sweet guitar solo, or even riding highly explosive missiles right into their unsuspecting faces. So yeah, there's a lot of fun to be had. The stages you play in also embody the wacky feel of the game, and they too will come with their own hazards, so watch out for flaming arenas, dangerous shock barriers, or even deadly trains that have no intention of stopping for you even if you have a ticket. The characters you play as will fall within three core categories: tank, DPS, and support. If you've played similar games before, then you're likely familiar with this triangle. But in short, your DPS classes are there for damage. They can be a little bit squishy in combat, so you want to avoid getting mobbed by the enemy team, but if you can dive in at the right time and pick off opposing players strategically, then they really can turn the tide in battle. Your support classes are exactly that, they're there to help your team. Support isn't always straightforward healing, you can buff your team in a number of ways, but it should go without saying that these heroes aren't the solo type, so running in to take on the whole team alone probably isn't advised, but fighting alongside your team and taking full advantage of your support capabilities is a surefire way to ensure you come out on top. And your tanks? These guys have a lot of health. I mean, it's in the name. They're there to take hits, disrupt the battle, and they should probably also try and stick with the support heroes so they don't get picked on all the time. Take full advantage of your ability to withstand a lot of damage and get up in the enemy's face. They'll either be forced to rethink their strategy, or they'll end up dead. Either way, you win.
This poor sod's money.
You can also change your characters mid-game, in the spawn, so if at first you're not sure who is right for you, just dive in and pick someone you like the look of, take them for a spin, and if they don't fit your playstyle, you're one death away from diving in as someone else. Additionally, each character, alongside their array of special moves, has two different supers to choose from. These are typically designed to offer different ways to play your chosen character, and those two can be swapped out just as easily, so pick and choose these based on the game type that you're playing, or the team comp you're facing.
And who's on you?
When you dive into your games, in Bleeding Edge you'll experience one of two different modes: Objective Control or Power Collection. Objective Control is a take on domination, or zone control. Essentially, there are 3 points located throughout the map, points A, B and C. They won't always be active, so in times when they're not, you'll be focusing your efforts on taking out the enemy team. But when they are active, you'll want to capture and hold these points. Holding a point earns you points, as does killing an enemy. The more points you hold, the more your team earns alongside your kills, so it should go without saying that holding all zones will put you in a much greater position to either win or make a comeback. As you play the match, the timer on the screen and the minimap will indicate which points are going to activate. You can use this to communicate with your team and ensure you're moving to the right points to maximise your control over the enemy team. First team to 600 points wins the game. Alternatively, you have Power Collection. In this mode, you need to collect power cells and deposit them in designated locations that, much like in Objective Control, are only active at certain times throughout the game. Power cells are typically located in these containers that need to be destroyed. Then once you collect them, it'll show on your screen. If you are killed whilst carrying cells, you'll drop them all on the ground for whoever is nearby to collect, be that teammate or enemy. Once the drop points open up, you then need to work as a team to deposit your cells. Keep in mind that you need to stand still and you can't attack whilst depositing, so it's imperative you have your team defend you or take out any surrounding enemies before you attempt to score your points. And likewise, you can use this knowledge to your advantage by using your attacks to interrupt enemies from scoring points. Depositing cells or killing enemies carrying cells earns you points, and the first team to 50 points wins the game. As you begin to get a feel for the game, learn the maps, understand the game modes, and find the heroes that you like the most, it's then a case of refining your skills. Remember that anytime you want to explore the map, you want to mount up. Riding your hoverboard is considerably quicker than running on foot. Some heroes have alternative means of transport as opposed to hoverboards, but the principle remains the same. Move fast if you want to travel long distances. Be sure to keep an eye out for power-up crates whilst you explore the map. Destroying these and collecting the power-up that spawns can make a huge difference in combat, especially if collected by one of your DPS teammates. They can truly use this to dish out some great burst damage. Also, don't forget to make good use of lock-on. While you can attack freely, holding down the left trigger will allow you to lock onto the enemy that you're fighting. This is especially useful when using abilities of a projectile nature or abilities that let you jump to or dash in the direction of your enemy. Additionally, for those of you more familiar with combat-centric games, Bleeding Edge also has a parry system for most characters. Evading is incredibly important, tapping right trigger and a direction will see you dodge, and my motto has always been, if in doubt, dodge. However, if you remain still and you press right trigger, you can parry melee attacks. This doesn't work with ranged attacks, nor will it work with special abilities, but if somebody is comboing you and you time it right, then a parry will either give you the opening you need to escape, or to follow up and punish them instead. It'll take some getting used to, but when mastered, it'll really allow you to widen the gap between you and your opponent. Now, as you play games of Bleeding Edge, you'll accrue currency in-game, and you can then head to the workshop to spend this on an array of different items. Currency comes in two forms. You have spare parts and credits. Both of these are earned simply by playing the game. No microtransactions. Spare parts are used for mods. Think of mods as small ways to increase or improve the abilities of your favourite heroes. You can have 3 mods equipped at any one time, and you can create multiple mod loadouts, so take a look at what's available and equip mods that synergize well with the way that you want to play. Alternatively, you can spend your credits on cool cosmetics too. After all, there's no point in winning if you don't look cool in the process. You can buy new hoverboards, some of which have really wacky designs. You can then colour them, add decals, and even add vibrant trails so everyone knows it's you when you ride into battle. Now that, my friends, is pretty much it for the time being. That's a quick breakdown of your gameplay basics. Bleeding Edge 101. Be sure to keep it locked, as over the next week we're going to be taking a look at the individual characters each day, their moves, abilities, supers and tactics for using them, so be sure to check back and let me know who you are most looking forward to using when the beta drops. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.